Hi, everyone. My name is Amber Renty, and I'll be talking about Youth Court. Youth Court, which is also known as Peer Court or Teen Court, is a restorative justice program that is designed for teens or youth between the ages of 12 and 18 who have committed nonviolent offenses or nonviolent crimes such as truancy, drug possession, vandalism, or theft. And the purpose of youth court is to provide a more supportive alternative to the traditional juvenile system. Instead of simply punishing the offenders, it focuses more on education, accountability, and repairing them, and basically giving them a second chance and a fresh start. What makes youth court unique is that it's peer led, which means it's being led and run by mainly peers who were also in once in the same position as the peers who um, are in who did the offensive crimes. So basically, they're past offenders. Um, they once, like I said, they were once in a similar situation, and they helped run the court, the youth court, but they're still being supervised and helped by an adult volunteer such as a judge or a lawyer. So basically, the offenders have a choice. They can either face the traditional juvenile system or they can participate in the youth court. In order to take part in the youth court, the offender must plead either guilty or no contest and go through mandatory training to become familiar with the court process. This training also allows the youth to later serve in different court roles, such as a judge or a bailiff or a lawyer or a community advocate. Um, it essentially um, encourages the youth to become more responsible for their actions and take accountability. And it just gives them a second chance and a fresh start, as I mentioned. Youth court is grounded in restorative justice, which focuses on repairing the harm that was caused by the offender rather than just punishing them. So let's talk about how it works. The process begins with a referral. In order for them to start the process of being in the youth court, you have to get a referral from someone such as law enforcement, school, or from the juvenile hall. Once the referral gets done and takes place, then the youth offender and their parent or guardian um, with a court representative has to go and register. Then they sign a written agreement and then they review the expectations for the program. Then after that, the youth court volunteer, no, the offender contacts the youth court volunteer and then they discuss their case and their requirements of what they need to do in order to finish the program and also plan for their scheduled hearing. During the hearing, a panel of peers, such as the ones I mentioned who were also once offenders, they hear the case and they're the ones who determine the appropriate sentence for the peer in question. The sentence typically includes activities or conditions that allow the offender to repair the harm that was caused by their actions, and they may also have to pay a fee. And like I said, once the youth completes the required condition and pays the associated fees, the case is closed. And the good part about it is that it won't go on their criminal record. But if the youth fails to complete the program, then unfortunately they'll have to return to probation and face more of a serious charge in regular judicial system. One of the most unique aspects of the youth court is that um, they get to learn from their mistakes and take accountability and responsibility and give them more of a better outlook. And also, another advantage is that by them having by the peer that is facing the offense, if they see other peers just like them running the court process, I think it makes them feel more relatable. They're able to, by hearing by being heard by someone like them, I think it gives them a better outlook on how they can start fresh and start, a new chapter and see where they did wrong. It also lets them know that they're not alone, that they're not the only one who has made mistakes and that other people make mistakes. And even though you make mistakes, you can start over and, attempt to repair, repair yourself, repair themselves, and repair the situation. Another advantage is accountability and reflection. Like I mentioned before, um, because the jury is made of peers, offenders can relate to their experiences and seeing how other youth overcame their mistakes, it can inspire the offender. And as I mentioned before, the third advantage is a clean slate and a clean criminal record. So by completing the youth court, the offender learns from their mistake and they get a clean record. It won't be a permanent mark on their record. The youth court also has a positive impact on the community as well. It helps reduce repeat offenses. It strengthens relationships between the school, the youth, and law enforcement. Uh, with advantages, there are also disadvantages. Um, Despite the benefits of youth court, like I said, it has some challenges. One of the disadvantages is youth court is not available in every country, unfortunately. So, and access can be limited. So, and also the other disadvantage is it's only available for first time offenders only. So even if you are a youth in the ages of 12 to 18, if you've committed more than one offense, then unfortunately um, you won't be able to utilize the youth court program. Also, another disadvantage is some critics, or I call them naysayers, who think that there are some naysayers who think that youth court is too soft for offenders. They think that it's not a they think it's too light of a consequence. I feel like the naysayers and the critics are saying that youth court isn't strict enough for offenders, that they think something they should be given more of a stricter sentence other than youth court. So that's another disadvantage as well. So, in conclusion, Youth Court is a restorative justice program that provides a second chance to young offenders while emphasizing accountability, education, community involvement, and um, more of a second chance and awareness. It addresses minor offenses early, helping youth reflect on their actions and avoid repeat offenses. It teaches empathy, clarity, leadership, responsibility, while giving offenders a chance to repair harm and learn from their mistakes. Although it has limitations such as limited availability and suitability concerns, the program's benefits far outweigh its challenges. Overall, youth court demonstrates that justice can be restorative, educational, and meaningful. It not only helps individual youth, but also strengthens the community, reduces recidivism, and promotes positive development. Programs like Youth Court show that when young people are given guidance, support, and opportunities, empathy, and second chances, they can make meaningful change and break cycles of harmful behavior. So, thank you for listening. I hope that this helps you understand youth court more and that it gives you more awareness and that it, motivates other people to give people second chances. Also, as far as what I liked about restorative justice or taking the restorative justice class is that I learned about that restorative justice exists. Before I took this class, I had never heard of restorative justice. I didn't know there were programs called restorative justice. I thought it was very cool to learn about all the different programs that are out there. But the youth court was my favorite, of course. But I liked learning about all of the different types of restorative justice there are. And I even was able to spread education and awareness to some of my friends and family about what restorative justice is because they had never heard of it either. I think the only con about this class was I loved watching some of the videos and the YouTubes and the TED Talks, but some of the videos were a little outdated and the volume was very low, too low for me at times. I don't know if it was my computer or just the video being outdated, but some of them were kind of outdated. But other than that, I loved watching the videos. And I really liked watching one of the videos where they showed I forgot which restorative justice it was, but I liked watching the video where this woman um, came face to face with two men who had broken into her place, I think, and attacked her. And as a result, she was deaf, I think, in one ear. And she forgave the guys and hugged them. And honestly, if I were put in that situation, I don't know if I could be as forgiving. I hope and pray I never have to be in that situation. But I was glad that I took this class and I learned so much. And I wish all of you a great winter break, and I hope you do good in your future endeavors, whether it's school or future career or otherwise. Okay, thank you. Bye.